There are so many different factors for increasing your combat power. It really is almost overwhelming. Obviously, starting at the max level of 120 here is a bit confusing, but it's excellent to see what some of these end game rewards are going to be. So let's go ahead and see what it has to say about the Tower of Insolence itself. There are a lot of help menus in this game, thankfully. So if you're a bit confused, a lot of times you just push this question mark at the top, and it pops up with plenty of information here. I'm going to slowly go through this and do possibly a segment about it later. Players have 3 free daily entries in the Tower of Insolence, and additional entries will cost diamonds, like most things in the game. You have plenty of things you can do on a daily or weekly basis, but you can also just as easily, spend the diamonds that you're normally earning in game anyway. And there's just so much going on. It really is excellent, dude. Look at all these different dungeons. There's dailies, there's elites, and most of these things do have daily entrances. So you'll have plenty of things to do each day.
Yeah, what we have seen is the team generally controlling the center of the map for a majority of the game. The team is able to have victory in it because of taking control of those two maps, which just gives you such a big increase in power.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start this, and we're gonna see what floor 1 through 3 is gonna be like. This is gonna be the Tower of Insolence, you guys. Floor 1 recommended CP is gonna be 4,500, and you see as you climb the tower, it is getting higher and higher with the max rank. Recommended power being actually 367,000. So let's go ahead and enter the floor 1 and see if it gives us a quest or what this is going to be like. So you see the monsters are automatically attacking me. I'm going to go ahead and turn on auto battle and see what happens. So he will just start automatically slaying everything for you. So obviously if you have a big combat advantage, you can basically just set your phone down, hang out, do whatever you want. I do have skill shot on, so I'm going to turn skill shots off for this simply because, why waste them when I'm already one-shotting everything anyway.
Which is fine, especially the mobile games, we encourage that. But now, let's get ready to cheer for our first team, Team Red Team Ship.
So that was it, 27 seconds, so each floor is actually very quick. I'm going to just push OK rather than to next floor. I'll do to next floor next time, but I do want to see a couple of specific things. So let's go back and see. See, we're on first floor. It no longer lets us enter. Maybe you only have 3 tries per day. You can only auto clear once per day, and you will obtain rewards for all floors you cleared. So you really want to wait on that auto clear until you've gotten as far as you can for the day before reset.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Match has begun. Doing Dreadnought. Go, 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 go. Thank you very much.
Now, keep in mind that this is obviously a bit of a overkill here because my combat power is just so much further ahead of the monsters. You can skip that cutscene. Next time I'll watch it though. Just like the arena, it does go into that finale with whatever move you use to finish the boss off. So that's actually really pleasurable to watch that very short, almost cinematic. So we're gonna go ahead and just push to next floor. I thought you would only have 3 attempts per day at the entire tower, but it looks like you have 3 attempts at each floor. So I should almost be able to clear the entire Tower of Insolence. Obviously, when we get up toward the 360,000 rank, it's going to be a little bit too hard. But I'm going to go ahead and just do, as much of a clear as I can. We'll see how long it takes. I'm guessing it's going to take somewhere around 20 minutes to full clear this tower. And diving in on day 1, you're only going to probably be able to do floor, maybe 1 through 5 by the end of the day. I'm not sure what to expect going from level 1, to X. I will be doing some sort of 24, 25-hour live stream that first day. I know that doesn't make sense, but if you stream for 25 hours, then you get somewhere around $400 of in-game money if you get the sponsorship program with Netmarble, which I believe is open to any streamer, not even affiliates or partners. As long as you sign up for their program and you stream for at least 25 hours a week, you get about a $450 in-game retail package. So there's going to be a lot of people streaming this. You are going to need that Elgato and then the dongle to connect your phone to the Elgato as well as your computer. And then I'll be when they go to kick me off from streaming, I don't know at what point that will be. Hopefully never. then I will actually open all the boxes we've had today, and I'll just do a small segment on YouTube about loot boxes and what they have to offer. You know, however much pay-to-win currency, the red diamonds that I get. Sorry, let me auto attack here. I didn't have that on. However much of that currency I earn over the course of my stream today, I will use to buy boxes, and we'll see what kind of things we can actually expect from those boxes. So you can hear some other streamers around me are actually finishing up their stream here. I had planned to do the 30v30 siege, but unfortunately it filled up 20 minutes early today for this first siege here on Sunday at TwitchCon. I did sign up for it an hour ago, but it is a first come, first served basis, and so when I went over there, they were actually totally filled up, which is fine. I wish I'd gotten it done. I've done every other siege so far, but I lost track of time earlier when I was streaming. But here we go. We are continuing the next tower. There is a time limit that looks to be about 3 minutes or maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I'll double check on the next tower. And then at the end of this, I'll actually do some sort of rune crafting thing where I get to see, you know, what this rune crafting will offer. As you see, I'm picking up tons of runes for every single floor clear. And then it did say you get that one auto clear per day, so that's going to be huge if I can get somewhere up near floor 30 or 40 or 50 or, you know, however far I can get to with 267,000 combat power. For me to auto clear and get those rewards, you know, the further you get every day, like let's just say at the end of week 1, I have no realistic expectations for how far we can get on day 1 or, you know, throughout the first week. So depending on, it is going to launch November 15th, and the clan sieges will start quickly thereafter. The bidding process for clan castles is on Thursdays. And so I'll double check later on all the clan events, and we'll see what time frame the fights are. But I'm sure within that first week, you're going to have a lot of clans that are vying for control of the different territories. The bonuses for controlling those clan castles is actually really huge. And so you're definitely going to have a lot of competition in these big 50v50s. You had increased drops, increased attack, increased experience for a whole region of the map. And so obviously the most powerful clans in the game will own the end game regions, and they'll specifically farm in those regions. And yesterday we did see that the open world PvP is totally griefable, absolutely griefable by big clans and really strong players. That end game boss yesterday that I was fighting that was level 104 was outside of the safe zone. And so I actually did have my PvP flag enabled, as you can see right now in the top left corner of my screen. It is on auto battle, and he is running in. Oh, you know, I'm sorry. I actually had my finger on the control, so even though he's auto battling, you can still kind of counter the auto battle by moving yourself. So, and then when you release it, he'll go back to auto battling. But yesterday I did go to that level 104. I don't know if I had that on stream or not, but I was actually camping the level 104 boss and actively killing other players that were in beta or the dev or, you know, whatever they have going right now for this program, where players here at TwitchCon and maybe around the world are playing on their servers. I was actively PvPing and griefing people around that level 104 boss. So the potential to grief is definitely there. There is that chaos factor that we couldn't quite get a big answer for out of Charles. I will find another developer here today that has the answer for chaos factor, because you can buy that potion from the consumable store. I'm gonna dive in there really quick right now, and just so you get a brief understanding of what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'll have time. He's probably going to slay this boss in one shot. Yeah, indeed. So maybe when we get to the higher floors, I'll have a chance to get into the shop a little bit more. But you can buy this this potion that reduces your chaos factor by 30, and you can buy that 3 times per day for a total chaos factor reduction of 90. Now you can also organically reduce your chaos factor by fighting monsters, but I believe I read it was somewhere around 300 monsters that you have to kill in order to reduce your chaos factor by 1. So that's a lot of grinding. I don't know if it's going to be 1-to-1. I don't know if each kill is going to be worth 1 chaos factor. I assume no. I assume you're going to have to kill maybe, I don't know, maybe you get 30 for griefing one player, but maybe it is only one at a time. We'll find that out later. I will go out and grief later in the day during my stream. I also think rather than going all the way through the Tower of Insolence, I'm gonna do just because I'm limited on time today. TwitchCon is closing somewhere around 5, and I do have a Castle Siege again at 4, so we are slightly limited. Limited on time today. So we're gonna do as much as we can. I don't know what floor we're actually on. Maybe it says it when we push next floor. We'll see if it shows it somewhere. Oh, it does say it in the top right. It's a little bit off the screen. Unfortunately, it is off the screen, so I don't know what Tower of Insolence floor we're on. On my phone, which is some sort of new phone, it looks like a Samsung Galaxy. The top left corner of the screen actually goes off into the phone itself, so I can't on this phone see what level of the tower I'm on, but I do see on OBS that I'm on floor 12. So I think we're going to go to about floor 20 or 25, and then I'll do an auto clear and we'll see what rewards we get, and then we'll dive into rune crafting very quickly and see just how much we can upgrade our gear with the runes that we've acquired just from levels 1 to 25 plus the auto clear bonus, which I think is double what we earn from the floors itself. So that'll be huge. I'm also very curious to see if that one daily auto clear can be increased with red diamonds and how many times that can actually be increased. Because obviously if it gives you a ridiculous amount of runes and runes increase your combat power, I'm not going to get into the microtransaction system opinionated wise too much. I just want to see scientifically what we can do. So I'm going to continue clearing maybe up to floor 25, and then we'll do the auto clear, and then we'll just look into how many auto clears you can buy per day. We do get the one for free. Hopefully there's a limit on how many you can buy. If there's no limit at all, then that is probably going to be a negative in my opinion, but so far I have nothing but good things to say about the game. As you guys can all see, the graphics are just absolutely phenomenal for a phone game, probably top of the industry. They are the platinum sponsor of TwitchCon. We had Conan O'Brien here yesterday with that release date of November 15th. So you can see they have a lot of popularity, and clearly for the United States, I'm not going to say we're in need of a new phone game. We do have a lot of things, but I don't think we have that one MMORPG phone game that you and all your friends can play, especially in the big clan setting. And I've not yet ran the clan dungeon, but it is going to be 50 players inside the clan dungeon with progressing scalable difficulties, as well as your clan leader being able to instantly summon all clan members to his location. So that is going to be absolutely huge for those big clans. If you're anywhere in the world, you can get summoned whenever the clan leader calls for it. I'm sure he'll be able to clear part of the dungeon himself, or go in there with a specific group of players, somewhere between 1 and 50. And then when you get to the boss, you would probably need the whole clan. So then you would do the summon. And I've definitely found that the teleportation scrolls, which I'll go over in a later segment today, are absolutely vital to your progression and fast traveling in the game. Your character will auto run anywhere on the map that you click on, as well as any monster that there's a list of monsters per zone, and you can click on that monster's name and your character will auto run to that monster no matter what zone it's in. You will literally auto run through towns, through zones, past combat, everything. So if you have a really far run and you don't have a teleportation scroll, or you just don't feel like buying them, or say maybe you're gonna go to the bathroom, get some lunch, whatever it is, you could actually auto run anywhere. So if you don't want to spend that teleportation scroll, which really I don't think they're that expensive, I think they're basically on par with your skill shots. They come in huge bundles, maybe 50 teleportation scrolls per bundle. Then you could just auto run. And I did test it yesterday, and my character was auto running for over 15 minutes. So you do have a really big world map. I don't know where I started with. I wasn't at 100. I just logged in, and wherever I was, I auto ran from there to the very end game zone with the highest level monsters I could find, which was that level 104 that was actively being farmed by players. So you can tell that was a big zone. Now you do have channels in the game, so if you are getting griefed in a particular channel, you can actually change channels to try to get control of the boss. Or maybe if one clan has control of channels 1 through 3, you move to channel 4 or 5 or whatever it is. Now obviously they have that same option to follow you, or maybe the field bosses, I believe, are on a 1 hour cooldown. they could, you spread your clan out across the different channels, and then you clear the bosses, and then summon your. I don't know if summoning works channel based, but I have to assume it will. You would summon all your clan members to your channel for the field bosses, or just a big open world PvP. As any of you guys know, with MMORPGs that have open world PvP, it's always scaling. Like, you get in a battle, maybe 1v1, you grief that guy once or twice, he calls in another guy, it's 2v1, maybe you win, maybe you lose, but it just always escalates. Everybody calls in more and more and more of their people up until you get those huge battles. I don't know what the limit on clans are. I know the clan dungeon and the PvP sieges are a 50-man limit inside of those instances, but I don't think that the clan itself has a limit of 50. It might be upwards of 300, so the open world PvP could potentially go all the way up into, I want to say 300 v 300, but I have to assume each channel maybe has some sort of max cap per channel of how many players there can be. But either way, you're going to have those really big open world PvP battles. So as you can see, the rewards are increasing exponentially the higher we get up into this tower. Once again, you guys, if you're watching me, definitely tune into TwitchCon's channel right now. The Lineage 2 Netmarble live stream is going on right now. They do have a 30v30 siege, and blue team is just absolutely devastating red team, dude. They're pushing in to their top side and just crushing them, and absolutely. It's just hundreds of kills are going on right now. You see people are getting promoted during the battle as well, so check that out. And then after the castle siege, go ahead and come back and check me out if you're curious. Also, if you guys have any questions, please put them into chat. I'm more than willing to delve into new things. So there we go. We got our first B rank chest that's gonna have accessories and other items inside of it. I will be opening all of my chests at once. So I'll be doing one big. So that was floor 20. So I believe every 5 or 10 floors you're gonna get those really big loot increases. Those boxes and those S rank items are coming up in the near future, somewhere upwards of I think 30 or 40. I had planned on stopping at floor 25, but it might actually be better if I just keep going, maybe even get to 30 or 40. It's going a lot faster than I thought it would. I mean, you have a 20-second floor clear. That is just huge. I do have auto host on you guys right now. Sorry, not auto host, auto bots. I'm using the Lineage 2 Revolution setup for this build that I'm playing on right now. So I can't actually see if anybody's following or anything like that. So please announce in chat if you guys decide to follow, and I'll call it out. I really appreciate all your guys' support. And please hit me with any questions you have for the devs.
Shifter, get down on the stage. Shifter, hold this foam board up. Yes! Shifter's champion!
Woo!
I'm going to ask you to stand on this side. Oh, if you want to shake hands.
So we do have Shifter winning this castle siege today in his 30v30, and he will be playing at 4 p.m. as well, so I'll definitely be getting on his team. Yesterday when I was playing for Trump, I was on Trump's team twice, and it was just so awesome, man, because Trump played Friday and lost. I was on his team Friday as well and lost. But really Saturday, he had this excellent idea of a defense plan to not even attack the enemy towers. The towers do so much damage. It's very similar to a MOBA in that you're pushing either top or bottom lane, and then, instead of NPCs, you have real players up to 50 defending and attacking each side. And so Trump's idea was, in order to win the castle sieges here at TwitchCon, don't even go for the enemy's castle. So we literally camped in mid at the Well of Eternity for all that healing, and just slayed them out because unfortunately, if you win the siege through kills, you don't actually get the castle. So if you're trying to actively attack the castle, you do not want to just go for kills. You do want to get in their castle and imprint their siege stone and end up winning. But yesterday, or here at TwitchCon rather, the winner is announced by either whoever imprints the enemy's castle first or most kills. And because the towers were putting out so much damage, Trump's idea was to form an iron curtain around that Well of Eternity, which automatically heals. And so we had the entire Zerg of 30 players sitting at mid, constantly getting healed, while the enemy just ran into us, just getting slaughtered over and over. We actually won yesterday, positive 225 kills. So, I mean, we were way, way ahead of the other team. It was pretty nasty. And so that's going to be a really good strategy for people when they're trying to defend their castle as well from enemy clans. Rather than going to imprint their siege stone, you might as well just hold mid or hold your top or bottom lane towers and force them into those towers for that huge AoE damage. So locking down a lane or the Well of Eternity is definitely going to be a massive, massive strategy for these clan castle sieges. Now, the 30v30 is pretty chaotic, but I know that 50v50 is going to be even crazier. You do have a lot of instant revive mechanics in the game that put you back in your castle spawn, but you do have a limited amount. It looked like 30 to me, and I'm assuming those aren't free. You either earn them in-game or maybe you purchase them via your clan store. I'm not exactly 100 on how to get that clan revive or that instant revive token. But at the end of that game yesterday, because we did have somewhere around 400 total kills on the enemy team, they were all out of instant revive tokens. So at the end, we went from that strategy of holding middle to actually pushing through their top lane and into their castle, just because they weren't spawning quick enough to form, an active opponent. So we were sitting in their spawn on top and bottom with maybe 10 guys each, while our commander imprinted their siege down with maybe 9 guys defending him, and it was just a really easy way to win. So I think rather than pushing top or bottom lane at the beginning of the siege, the big clans are going to have other strategies like zerging maybe 25 guys on each side of the Well of Eternity, and then just kind of farming out the enemies up until they run out of respawns, and then going for that big imprint win. So here we are at floor 28, heading up towards 60. I was considering ending it at 25 or 30, but I mean, it's just so fast, and I'm really curious what that really huge auto clear bonus will be, because that once again, that once a day auto clear will give you rewards from every floor you've cleared previously. So obviously when you're at endgame and you've cleared all 60 floors, that once a day auto clear is just going to be a absolutely huge increase in runes, money, and equipment boxes. Now you do use your lower level equipment to feed your higher level equipment in order to continue leveling it. So eating gear and getting lower level gear is continually helpful. I did see yesterday that the drop off for that increase is exponential, because when I fed my S rank gear, another S rank gear, it went from level 1 to 2, and the next time I tried to feed it an S rank gear, it went to about 2.4 or 2.5 maybe. And so you can see that the higher your level gets, the more and more and better gear you're going to need. I did see that rank 1 player yesterday, what I was talking about earlier with Charles. It was at over 1 million combat power. Now you do see here, I had rank B gear. It considered, or my overall character rank to be B, which really isn't very high considering SR or UR are the maxes. And so my combat power rank was really high. Gear base, I had about a 3/4 scalable bar. So I have about 75% of the best gear I can get with this SR gear that I'm currently wearing in this dev build. But my overall character rank was still only B. That's because you have runes, you have I believe gems. Either gem is a similar system to runes or a different system altogether. But you've got runes and you've got gems. You have the title system. You've got mounts. You have elixirs. You have this really interesting system where monsters drop their basically their essences, and so you're gonna have to farm monsters. And one of the castle sieges, or sorry, one of the castle bonuses for the region was to increase your monster drop rate for their card. And so yesterday when I was fighting that level 104, it took 15 cards of that really high level monster in order to increase your crit chance overall. And so you're gonna really want to farm every single monster in the game. If you're really going, for that 100% clear, that max rank character, you're gonna have to farm every monster, for potentially hours, depending on what castles that your clan owns, because the cards were not dropping every kill. I don't know what the actual ratio is. I'm sure the harder level the monster, or maybe the rarer the monster, possibly the rarer the card drop is. But I did do a slight test yesterday. I don't know if I caught that on stream or not. But I slayed monsters in an area for about 20 minutes, and I only got 7 cards. And for the first rank up, of that monster, and to increase my combat power for that monster card, I needed 8. So as you can see, I mean, you are going to have to auto battle or actually battle in an area for a large amount of time. You see, I'm no longer one-shotting the bosses, so we are starting to get closer to a floor where we're going to start having difficulties. Maybe while I'm auto battling this first wave as it gets harder, we can jump into the shop really quick and take a look at there's friendship points as well, so you will be able to earn things for having friends in game and socializing. But here you can see the actual shop menu for Adina. Really isn't too expensive. For a million Adina, it's going to be 3,200 red diamonds, which is the amount you get for being first in the arena for the first time. So the first player in the world on the US launch on November 15th, really to get first place, is going to have just such a massive advantage over everybody else, depending on how much red diamonds people are willing to buy and whatnot. But let's just say you get rank 1. You only have to do it once to get that $3,000 or $4,000 immediate red diamond count. So let's say you go, day 1, you just power rush. Maybe you play all day and you manage to get through the arena. Maybe you even, if you're doing a 24-hour playthrough, you'll probably hit reset at least once. And so you'll be able to do at least 10 arenas for free. And if you're heading up toward rank 1, you're going to be able to get all those red diamonds for your daily rank as well as your one-time rank. And so, a million Adina is just massive. For this dev build, they gave me 10 million, and it was explained to me that 10 million is a lot. And I definitely have to agree. When I was fighting in that endgame zone yesterday, not the dungeon, I can't remember how much money I was getting in the dungeon. But when I was fighting in that endgame zone, each monster was only dropping around 90 Adina, and sometimes not at all. So, I was fighting there for an hour. Let's just say I maybe killed 200 monsters or more. If assuming each one gives you 100, then that's only 20,000. So you can see where a million Adina is just a huge amount. And we are getting Adina from these floors, as well as chests which contain random amounts of Adina and loot, which I will be opening at the end of this run, or maybe at the end of my stream session, depending on what I feel like doing. But keep in mind, if you guys are gonna leave, totally don't worry about it. I will be editing all this footage and putting up different segments on YouTube, kind of a first look at the English version of specific things. I do have a lot of things in mind, a lot of objectives today of things that I want to test. I wrote down a lot of things last night that I hadn't seen yet on YouTube. I did a lot of research, and so I will be doing at least a 4-hour stream today, I believe. And unless I get kicked off, there's only a limited amount of space here, but they do have a huge open playtest area with just tons and tons of phones. And a lot of pre-gen characters. I did notice some of those pre-gen characters were only level 100. And so yesterday when I was in that level 104 zone, some players there were only level 100. And I did have that 20 level advantage here at 120. And so I was able to grief quite a few players, which was fantastic, dude, to just take control of that boss for myself. Now, the respawn area, you do have that instant revive option, but the nearby... I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Sorry. You could respawn nearby when you died, and you didn't have to use your instant revive. You could do, there was a short cooldown after I died. I did end up losing 1v1 to another player. I didn't inspect him, so I don't know how much combat power he had, but it was a very close fight, but he did end up beating me. But it doesn't seem like there's any penalty for death other than having to either use an instant revive token to respawn on the spot or to just respawn nearby. Now, that level 104 monster was right next to a clan castle, so whoever owns that castle is going to have a huge advantage over that zone. But the respawn area was a safe zone, and it was right next to it. It was about maybe let's just say a 30, maybe even less than a 30-second walk from where you respawn back to the boss. So dying there isn't going to be that huge. Unless they're griefing, like I was talking about earlier with the big clans with the open world PvP and being able to flag up for PvP. You are going to have a lot of clans, especially those big name clans that are going to own the end game dungeons and the zones. They will obviously be benefited by having control of that area, and so by having a team waiting outside, the boss spawn or the field boss spawn or whatever, griefing people that try to come into the zone is definitely going to be a viable strategy. Z-Boss asks, when is this coming out? Z-Boss, this game is actually releasing on the 15th of November. This is only playable on the phone as far as I'm aware. I will get clarification on that later. I don't think that they are going to have a computer application for it, though, but I have found that because of the auto battle system, as you can see right now, I'm not actively controlling my character for these towers. I do have it on auto, mostly because I'm such a high power rating that it's very easy for my character to auto clear these. I am getting closer and closer to the ones where I'll have to actually take control of my character. And so then in that situation, I will take off auto battle. But it's a fantastic game, in my opinion, to play while playing other things. Because the auto battle feature is just so viable for grinding, and there's so much things in this game that you need that really increase your overall combat power. It's truly surprising to me the depth of this game's gear and combat power increases. I was very surprised yesterday looking at that rank 1 guy who had just, just barely over a million combat power compared to my dev build right here. I have 300,000. And now at the end of this, I do have 0 runes. We were looking earlier at our inventory in the rune system. I had no runes actually at all. And so part of doing this Tower of Insolence is that the main feature of this tower is getting runes. And so as we climb this tower, once we get to the end or we can't continue anymore, or whenever I decide to stop running these floors, we are, progressing. You see we're at 600 runes now compared to that original 50. Um, we will see how much of a combat power increase we get from runes, because this dev build does have me at 0 runes. And there is an auto rune feature, so you don't actually have to know everything there is to know about crafting in this game. Because just like with auto battling, there is auto crafting. I do think that there's the potential for there to be some downside to that, just like with auto battling. We did have yesterday in the big 30v30 sieges, turning yourself on auto battle during the siege, in my humble opinion, is a terrible idea, man. When I had my Dark Mage on auto battle, which I did have at the beginning, mostly for testing purposes, I mean, I was running into clumps of enemies. Like, yes, I was using all my skills off cooldown, or I should say my character was, and he was using potions off cooldown. But by no means was the AI as smart as a player, in my opinion. Like, at one point, I literally ran into, like, their respawn area and dropped my meteor, which, sure, I did a lot of damage, but there was 20 guys there, so I basically got one shot. So, I mean, overall, as far as the battle win, I would say by you running into a clump of enemies and dying, you're not helping your team at all. And so right after that, I turned off auto battle, and I did manage to come back from that loss there. You also see I don't have auto battle on right now, but I am somehow doing damage to enemies. I don't know if that's thorns or possibly a life leech that I had going, but so auto battling is important, but I'm sure late game, especially for the elite dungeons, which are timed, unless you're just way out gear that specific dungeon, having auto battle on is not going to be a good idea at all. The views on this game are pretty low, so I think it will spike on release. I have no doubt whatsoever that the view count for this game around November 15th is not only going to spike, depending on your word spike, but it's just going to be fantastically huge. While I'm here at their booth, we have a lot of developers and marketing team here, and a lot of celebrities and big Twitch partners. Because of their streamer program, I really think that the views are going to be in the thousands and thousands. I mean, I was talking to them yesterday. They said as of Friday, pre-TwitchCon, they had already over 1 million people registered for the game, and the first 3 servers out of 12 for the U.S. launch were full for pre-registration. And yesterday I was looking, and already the first 5 servers had filled up. I haven't actually looked yet today on Sunday, but I have to imagine that probably the first maybe 6 servers are full, or if not more. And because of the way that the streaming program works, where you don't have to be an affiliate or a partner with Twitch in order to get in-game money, you're going to be able to see a lot of people streaming that have never streamed before. They want to try it out. Now, that retail package for streaming is just absolutely phenomenal, you guys. If you stream this game for 25 hours a week, you're going to get a $450 in-game retail package, dude. You're going to get about 10,000 red diamonds, which is somewhere around $100 value in game. You're going to get a box that contains a variety of really high-grade gear. It said other rewards. I haven't talked to the dev yet specifically about what he plans on offering, but you can see that just with that 10,000 red diamonds, that's going to be enough incentive for almost anyone to stream. Because if you're at home near your computer and you're playing this, I definitely plan on playing this full-time while PvPing and sieging and doing my weeklies and dailies. But obviously there's going to be points like any game, not just phone games, but even MMOs nowadays, where you run out of content to do every day just because, although you could say that the grind is infinite and there's plenty of things to do, because of the gated value of the game, where you can only do X amount of towers per day, you can only do X amount of dungeons, X amount of arenas, X amount of everything other than open world content. which to me, I didn't see any gate on the open world content at all, which was great because the field bosses are spawning every hour. And because of the way you gain combat power through every facet of the game, like we were talking about earlier with the mounts, the titles, the monsters dropping their cards, the runes, the gems, eating gear that you find with your gear to level it up, like everything you do in the open world is going to increase your combat power. So you're going to see a lot of people playing this actively as well as secondly. I was talking to, Bajira, who's very famous from WoW. I was with him here on Friday. Bajira was actually the lead commander of the blue team and the 30v30 siege, and he had a lot of praise to say for the game. He does say that World of Warcraft will always be his #1 game. You know, it's not just a game for him. He's a huge part of the community. He talks with the devs. He's on the esports team. But he said as a second stream game or as a, something else to do because of the way the auto battle feature works and the auto questing works, he could definitely see himself, or at least I could see myself as well, playing this while playing something else because I am going to turn skill shots on now here. You see as we're getting higher and higher here into the floors. I'm now at tower floor level 45. I do believe 60 was the max floor. So I am going to turn skill shots back on. You can see right here on the right side of my screen, there's this purple vial. That is going to be your skill shot, which seemed to be earlier when I was testing it, which I did get on stream, and I will release a clip for that later. It was increasing my overall damage by seemingly 50%, so skill shots is going to be absolutely huge and a huge way to increase your damage in PvP and PvE. So I will be turning that on for the remainder of the tower. Now, the end recommendation power for tower level 60 was 367,000. So I'm very curious to see how much damage, how much I'm able to accomplish once I use skill shots, and whether or not my combat power of 290,000 will be enough to defeat that recommendation of 360,000. Because of the fact that they have these huge launches in Korea and Japan and other Asian countries, and now that it's coming to the US and UK, I have to assume that they refined what their recommendations are to be very similar to what it will actually take to do things. So I'm guessing as we climb higher in this tower, I will actually be unable to continue once we get closer to 60. As you can see right now, I mean, what are we at? We were at floor 46 or 47. I really had no problem with that boss at all. I did not even have to use my HP potion. Now, the potions, as you can see, I do have 765 potions, but it is on a cooldown very similar to Diablo, so you don't want to just spam your potion when you get low. I also, with this Dark Mage, I have a lot of life leech, so I really only want to use that potion when I'm pretty sure I'm about to die. Or maybe when I'm at about half, and then hopefully, that'll put me back at full, and then I'll have that 15-second cooldown end just as I'm either back at half or closer to dying. So I'm not going to want to have auto battle on once we get to the higher floors, just because I'm not going to want it to auto use my potions or my skills. I'm going to want to stay as far away from these bosses as I can. I've changed out all my skills here on the bottom right to all be active skills with, in general, either single targets or frontal cone AoEs or skill shots like right there. You see that beam straight in front of me, very similar to the Diablo 2 Mage. Diablo 3 Mage. As you can see, it also auto-used a mana potion there, even though I had very high mana in my own opinion. So if auto battle wasn't on, I wouldn't have had to use that potion there. But let's turn auto battle on, and we'll try to keep a little bit closer eye on when it actually used that mana potion. During the PvP sieges, I never ran out of mana. I never once had to use a potion, but we were using pre-gen characters there that were very, very powerful. I mean, we saw the commanders like Trump and Bajira actually being able to one-shot people on the field. That's why I was saying that the disparity with combat power is just absolutely insane. Like, really griefing and high-level clans and high-level players with really high combat power are definitely going to be able to change the tides of battles. That's why I'm slightly afraid of these red diamonds and what they're able to accomplish, which is why we're going to get into that here. Once we get to a little bit higher on these floors, I really, really am curious to see, because the auto clear feature for the tower will give you rewards for every tower floor you've ever cleared. And so, as we're clearing these towers, this will be only something you have to do once in your entire game career. Obviously, every day you want to push the tower and get higher and higher, because you do have that once a day auto clear giving you all those rewards. And so the higher you are, the more rewards you're going to get. And you're going to want to push yourself every day. All the way up until reset, you're really going to want to dive into these towers and these dungeons and try to do, the best that you can do to reap all the rewards you can per day. Klopp says, stop, kill, same monsters, go to other places. Klopp, I will be going to several other places throughout the day. I am right now testing the rune effect on our character combat powers. So I will be clearing this tower if possible. As you can see in the top right, I'm at floor 49 and the max floor is 60. So we're almost coming to the very end of the tower. I really want to see just how many runes I get from auto clearing. I'm gonna, this is basically gonna be an end game perspective on the Tower of Insolence because we are level 120 with combat power 300,000. I'm just very curious to see what getting all of the floors worth of runes will do, and we're gonna be going from 0 runes here at the end of this tower to all of the runes that we got from level 1 to 60, plus an auto clear bonus of every floor we've cleared up to date. Which, I really hope I can clear floor 60, but we will have to see as we get closer. As you can see, it is getting much harder. I mean, these monsters are actually now starting to do enough damage to be a bit worrisome. So I don't actually think I'll be able to full clear tower 60. As you can see, it auto-used my potion there at about 60%, maybe 75%. But I will be using all of the runes just after this Tower of Insolence to check out the rune system, and we'll see how much combat power we get from this 290,000 I currently have. And we'll just see where we go. I assume I'll actually be able to get upwards of 20 to 50,000 combat power, which is going to be absolutely huge, man. A 50,000 increase just from rune crafting is going to be really big. And you see there, I also cleared that floor and managed to get a new title. And the titles also give you rewards. Very similar. Let's see what this S rank is. I think that's our first S rank. So let me see if I can click that. So I can't click it to see what these do, but I'm sure in my inventory I would definitely be able to click that. Almost everything in this game is interactable, even things within menus. Menus within menus show you a lot of help and a lot of options. I'm going to continue auto-clearing for now while I drink this coffee and just wait. I am just waking up. I got to TwitchCon about an hour ago, and I will be streaming this for as long as I can today. If you have a specific idea, Klopp, of what you want to see from the game, please definitely let me know, man. I'm more than willing to check out some of the elite dungeons. Later, I will be doing a clan dungeon if I'm able to connect with some of the other streamers and able to actually get into that clan dungeon. Z-Boss asks if abilities in the game come out from the front of the character. Every ability is different, dude. There's a lot of really big point-blank AoEs that could go on a 360 around your character. Now, I've set this character up specifically to have frontal cones, skill shots that go in a line, and then direct damages to whatever my current target is. Now, you can't actually target anything in the game, but you will target anything you're attacking. It will show you the health at the top of the screen, especially for PvP. It did turn out to be very useful because I could hold my attack down and I would basically automatically go forward, attacking different monsters that came at me and different players, and then it shows you their health at the top, like right here. You see he's automatically attacking, and then it's just changing target to whatever his main target is. So right here it's going to be the spider, and maybe I kill some other enemies accidentally. Right there, you see it wasn't just in front. That was actually a targeted meteor, which is my third ability from the right and from the bottom. My middle ability is that meteor, which targets an enemy and drops a meteor on its position. Now, my far right ability will drop a meteor on my position, which, I mean, is huge. It does damage over time as well as a huge, huge burst damage. Yesterday we saw in the Castle Siege, I was almost one-shotting other players with my meteor ability. You did see that it has about a 3-minute cooldown, so having big coordination with the rest of your clan is going to be absolutely vital to winning those clan sieges, because if you can get enough people flanking, maybe 5 or 10, to get behind enemy lines, run into a cluster of them, and everybody drop a meteor skill at once, you're basically just going to one-shot. Yeah, not necessarily one-shot, but the combined weight and damage of all those meteors from 5 to 10 players will potentially be enough to kill outright any players that are in that AoE. So we are on our way to the top floor level. Now, the recommendation for floor 60 was 360,000, and you can see in the top left, I'm at 290. And it's getting slightly harder, but it's still definitely doable, so I'm very curious to see if I can clear all the way through the tower at 290. Now, I have spec'd my Mage differently than what they set this up for the streamers, just because of my playtime over the past 3 days, which is somewhere over 20 hours, I want to say. I've spent a lot of time at this Twitch booth. This Twitch booth. It is the platinum sponsor of TwitchCon, so they do have center stage here at the exhibition arena. Lots of castle sieges, lots of events. Oh, I accidentally left the dungeon right there. I'm not sure what happened. Either way, here we see that we are now at floor 54 with a recommended combat power of 280,000. And it's showing, my value against its value, as well as the rewards. We can see we're getting Tower of Insolence, Adena box, That look at how many Adina you're getting here at the nearing the end game of this Tower of Insolence. You're getting 6 of these boxes that are each 10,000. That's going to be 60,000 Adina. Now this auto clear will be once per day, and you will obtain rewards for all floors we've ever cleared. So thinking about the top of this floor, once we get to end game and you've cleared all 60 floors, every day that you get to use this free auto clear, you're going to get every floor with a reward. So it's just going to be so much money and so many runes. It's just really going to be amazing. That's why I'm very curious to see, how many auto clears we can actually buy with red diamonds. I really hope that there's a limit. I think if it's limitless, that's going to be a little bit of an unfair advantage for people who have a lot of money and are willing to spend a lot of red diamonds on just buying the auto clear for the Tower of Insolence in order to upgrade their runes and to get those huge monetary increases. We did see that Million Adina was somewhere around $35 if you're just trying to buy specifically, in-game money of Adina, which is basically the gold, the monetary currency in-game is this Adina. And we could buy about 1 million of it for $35. But you see, just from the tower alone, every day, here when we either beat it or we get to a point where we can no longer continue, I will auto clear, and we will hopefully see just how much Adina you get, basically from an end game perspective for auto clearing this entire dungeon. I gotta assume you're getting maybe 250,000, maybe even higher. So you're basically going to be able to get lots and lots of money just from your once a day auto clear of this dungeon. Granted, please keep in mind, I don't see now. So here's the first time it's saying your power is lower than the recommendation. Are you sure you want to enter? Now you do have 3 attempts per floor per day, from what I've been able to gather to try. So obviously we're gonna try it right now. I'm gonna continue auto battling because it looked like I was doing fine on the last one. I think I'll be fine on this one as well. So now, how long will it take a brand new player to get this 290,000 combat power? I have no idea, dude. I imagine it's going to be a really long time. Because if we go to our character really quick, which I can do while auto battling, you can see, I do have this SR equipment, which is basically maxed out at level 30 with plus 10 level gems. So I basically have max level gear from what I understand. Now, let me double check. Let me put you somewhere else so as we get another understanding. Let's go back to character, and it shows me as a B grade character, which is just terrible, dude. Grade 0 for achievements, grade 0 in the arena. Let's go to advancement info. Rank 0 for runes, rank 0 for so many things. So you have so much room for improvement. We did see that rank 1 in the world yesterday overall for combat power. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop a potion now since we're just starting. It's not letting me use it. Maybe because I'm on auto battle, or maybe it already used it and there was a little bit of lag there. I'm not sure which. I was getting some disconnections yesterday, but they did say it's because I'm running off the Wi-Fi. TwitchCon, we have about 30,000 people here today with so many vendors. Even when I was at Turtle Beach, dude, the Wi-Fi was just not good. I mean, there's just so many people using it. But so you did see there, our clear time for this level was 1:19, so we are getting a lot longer and longer per tower level, which is going to be the same for endgame dungeons. Now, the limit on these towers, you can see in the top right or middle right, is 3 minutes, whereas the dungeons, especially those elite dungeons for the endgame content, was 30 minutes. So the tower isn't meant to be your true endgame. It is a solo run. You're basically playing against yourself and your gear in order to try to clear out this tower. You do see we are on floor 56, so we have almost beat the final level of the tower, at which point I will be doing that auto clear, seeing just how much loot we can pick up. And then I will be buying with red diamonds, hopefully, depending on the cost of that, and based on how much red diamonds I've actually acquired today. I did acquire a lot from that arena. We haven't used all our arena tickets, so I can easily jump back into the arena. We are one-shotting. There's no way to skip ahead in the arena, unfortunately. So each day you do get your free 5 daily arena battles, but I can't just go fight rank 1 in the arena. You have a specific bracket that you can fight, which is, X amount of ranks in front of you. So we saw I was 10,000 or 10,000 plus, and I could drop down to 707. So I'm now ranked 707 in the arena. So I'm very curious to see how far we can get with our 5 arena daily passes. Now, keep in mind, they're all bots right now. You only have a very limited amount of people on this dev server. So obviously, when the game actually launches for the United States, you're not going to have, I'm going to use so I did use my potion there automatically because I do want to, before it gets to the automatic usage point, I want to use it now prior to us hitting the boss. I really want to go into that boss fight with full health. I'm also curious to see if maybe after the boss cinematic, maybe you automatically get full health. That's something I haven't looked at yet. But okay, so did just use my potion. It looks like I have about 75% HP there. I'm going to skip the cinematic, and I do still have 75 HP. So you are going into the boss fight with whatever you have after you beat all the ads. So the boss is doing quite a bit of damage to me. I think I will be able to maybe beat floor 60. I'm not sure. He did put me at half there, and I used a potion. So as we get closer to the top of the tower, I might have to take a quick break from beating the tower to just use all the runes I've acquired so far and runecraft my way up and see just how much combat power I actually get from those runes. But we're going to continue trying until we actually fail here. Klopp wants to know about raid bosses, clans, classes, towns, and pets. Yeah, dude, I will be diving into all of that stuff, Klopp, with absolute certainty. Here as we progress. Now I will finish out this tower, and then do the auto clear reward so we can see just how much you get from clearing all 60 levels of the tower. And that is going to be a once a day auto clear for free. And again, I'm just so curious to see how much red diamonds it takes for that auto clear, because you know if you're looking to be an endgame player with really great gear, you're gonna have to try to decide what's best to spend your diamonds on. Now, if we can get 1,000,000 straight diamonds for $35, but you know the arena, or sorry, this Tower of Insolence auto clear, let's just say is only maybe 200. Let's just assume you can only buy it once per day, and it's 200 red diamonds. And for clearing all 60 floors, you get 250,000. You're saving a lot of money by spending your red diamonds in smarter places rather than just straight buying Dina at 1,000,000, for $35. If you're an endgame player, that's not going to be what you want to do. You're going to want to either buy more elite dungeon passes. You're going to want to buy more Tower of Insolence auto clear passes. You're going to want to buy more arena passes, things like that to really increase, your ratio of how much red diamonds you're spending and how many rewards you're getting back. Now we are getting here to the very end of the tower. So this is floor 59. So we are one away from maxing out this tower, and we're still not having too much of a problem here fighting. Even on auto battle, he's doing a very excellent job using my skills off cooldown, fighting monsters. Like I said earlier, I don't think auto battle is good for PvP. Maybe in a 1v1 scenario, it wouldn't be bad because you would be auto following them, auto using your skills off cooldown, auto using your potions. So it's doing everything you could do but faster. But in the 30v30 and the 50v50 sieges, auto battle is not good, dude. It's just throwing you into choke points, dude. Throwing you onto enemy field AOE's, things that were basically one-shotting me. I was just walking into. So you're not going to want to have that auto clear on for those big sieges. But I do wonder if in a 1v1 scenario, auto battle wouldn't be the way to go. Although I'm also curious if you had auto battle on, if he would be attacking nearby monsters or if he would just sticky back another player. So we will have to get into some open world PvP again later, like we did yesterday. Obviously, I have a huge advantage having cleared this Tower of Insolence here on the next level. So you do see the recommended combat power for level 60 is going to be 367,400, and I obviously have hugely behind that. I almost have 100,000 combat power deficit, and we are about to find out right now if I can auto battle clear this with that deficit. Turning auto battle on once again. It's so far this first ad not bad at all. You see he does have that boss symbol and he does have a yellow tag, so he is a little bit harder. Not too bad. I did drop my huge AoE there for a lot of damage, and you can see because I am a dark elf and a dark mage, I am getting a lot of life leech back. So I think possibly these life leeches are going to be a really big end game, especially for the solo content. I don't think for the dungeon content it will be that necessary because you will have healers on your team healing you. But for the solo thing, I think this life leech is going to be huge. Now, we are almost at half health, so I'm going to try to just go ahead and run away. I'm going to kite around for a little bit. I'm going to turn off auto battle, and I'm going to kite around until I get some my cooldowns back. Go ahead and use my potion here off cooldown, and then I'm going to turn auto battle back on, drop some attacks on him. So I think if I straight had auto battle on here, I would actually lose this tower. But I'm probably going to have to run around a little bit again. Here and do more potions. So yeah, you can see I'm not going to be able to beat this while auto battle. There's just no way. I'm not gaining nearly enough health compared to what I'm losing. So, I mean, we did about 25% damage there. I think I will be able to clear this in the time limit as we use these potions off cooldown. So you can see I didn't actually have to turn auto battle off. You can manually take control of your character by just walking, and then once you release the controls for walking, he will go back to auto battling. So we did beat all the ads there, and here comes the boss. I'm going to go ahead and skip this and go ahead and auto battle again. Let's see if we can beat the boss 1v1. The Dicker of Unease is going to be the boss of tower level 60. I don't know if it's randomly generated on a daily basis or weekly basis, or if this is the overall final floor of the Tower of Insolence. I am going to go ahead and run around here some more and use my potion. and then go ahead and release to return to auto battling. So we are going to be able to beat this tower with a 100,000 deficit. I think that's very important information for a lot of top tier players to know, that you can actually clear this tower well below the recommended combat power limit. So I am now the third player to clear floor 60 of the Tower of Insolence. We just had that server message pop up. So obviously somebody else here, maybe one of the big streamers, or just another player over here at the open play area, managed to do this. I'd say that did take about 30 minutes for that final clear. We did get an S rank box and 20,000 Adina. It took me 2 minutes to clear that. So here we go, you guys. It put me right back here. There we go. We've cleared all 60 floors of the Tower of Insolence. It took me about maybe 30 minutes to clear that in full from 1 to 60 just with this dev build. Now, here we go. We're going to try this auto clear feature for the first time. So it is giving us every single reward, dude. It's just going up the tower, giving us money and power. It didn't list it all out at once. It looks like it was just doing it one thing at a time. So unfortunately, I have no idea how much I actually got, but if you look at the top right, I did start today with 10 million Adina. So after fully clearing the Tower of Insolence 1 to 60 and using my auto clear feature to get all 60 floors worth of rewards, we did manage to get 336,000 Adina. So that's going to be about $15 worth of red diamonds if you were just going to straight up buy that 800,000.